Good morning, everybody. Well, first I'd like to welcome you all here. I'm super happy to see everybody. We have over 300 students and educators here today representing all of the middle schools and high schools in our district. So that's amazing. Now to introduce myself, my name is Jonah Yolen. I am a senior in the IB program at Worcester High School, and of course, I am a representative for Worcester High School on the Student Advisory Board, which is pretty much what this thing is all about, student voice. And I guess in addition, I am the co-chairman of the Reno Youth City Council, and I suppose in my free time, I am a fashion designer when I get around to doing it. So that's a little bit about me. It's a pleasure to see all of you.
All right. Yay, Jonah. And good morning. I'm Vice President of the Board of Trustees, Katie Simon Holland, and it is so great to be here with you. I've already been tweeting pictures of everybody, so keep that in mind. We're going to encourage that today for you all as well. I have been on the school board just since January. I got elected in November. Very exciting to be part of the school district. I'm a mother and a grandmother. And for 15 years, I was the CEO of the Washoe County government. So I have been involved in the area for a very long time and really excited to see you. And before we kick it off, I thought it'd be great if we get our voices ready by turning to someone next to us at the table, giving them a really good, strong, welcoming handshake, and telling them something that you'd like to get out of today. So take a moment and do that. Okay, that's great. I saw some good, strong handshakes. I like that. Wake us up in the morning. So we will be your MCs this morning, and very excited to see all these smiling faces. Before we get started, want to take care of some housekeeping things. Most importantly, the bathrooms. And the bathrooms are back that way, so when and if you need to go, please do so. And next, food. We have breakfast goodies out, and I hope you've all been able to take advantage of that. And then we will have lunch provided to you about 11:15, so we'll look forward to that. I'm sorry, 11:35. 11:35, so we'll look forward to that. And you'll notice in front of you, everybody has a folder. And inside that folder, you'll see the agenda for the day, and you'll see a description of all of the sessions that are available for you to attend today. You can select what sessions you want to go to. There's an evaluation sheet to tell us what you think of the day, and you'll also see a two-sided student voice tip sheet, one side for students and the other side for educators, so check it out. And if you're not already seated with your group, make sure that you sit together after the breakout sessions and for lunch. And I would encourage you to write your name on the folder. There is a place inside to write it, but you might even want to write it on the front because, of course, all of us have the same identical folder. So make sure that you can keep track of your own.
Perfect. Now, of course, it's really special that we're all here to learn together. And to make it a great day for everyone, please look at the table tents and review the norms for the day. And they just remind us to participate, to engage, to be respectful, and always to learn. And today is special because those little things that we have in our pockets can actually be used for our benefit. We can actually use our phones today. Yeah. And we have Twitter and Instagram feeds going on right now. And if you use the hashtag SV of WCSD, you can hashtag that and post it. Now, those are listed on the table tents as well. And finally, we're going to give you a few minutes right now to make note of the sessions that you would like to attend. And as Trustee Simon Holland showed, this is the folder within the folder that has all of the information about the sessions. So if you look through that, you can learn a little bit more about each session and what you might be interested in learning. Okay, so I guess 5 minutes to do that, kind of discuss with everyone around you about what might be interesting for the day. Also, there are two wonderful people in the room, Joko and Maddie, and myself will be presenting session number 3, if you want to see more of us.
Shameless self-promotion.
Yeah, sorry, I just had to.
Okay, thanks for wrapping that up so quickly. And we do want to start our day with a big thank you to TMCC. Let's all say, good morning, TMCC. All right, that's great. So thank you to TMCC. We want to thank Superintendent Tracy Davis, whom we'll hear from in a second. Some of our Board of Trustees are here this morning, Trustee Frankel and Trustee Raymond, thank you. And our student trustee, Katie Deutsch, who will be up here later. The Office of Student Accountability, the Student Advisory Board members, and our student and staff facilitators. And a huge thank you to all of our counselors and our student scholars at the tables. Be sure to thank people that are at your table because our counselors helped organize everybody and the bus schedules and getting everybody here, and it couldn't have happened without their dedicated support to us. So let's give everybody a round of applause who helped make this day happen. Now we have a quick video from Superintendent Tracy Davis to welcome you to the conference. She was not able to be here today and regrets that, but she wanted you to see this video.
Good morning, Washoe County School District students. I am so pleased to welcome you to the 3rd Annual Strength and Voices Conference. Thank you all for attending today and taking an active role in your future. What excites me most about this conference is that our students are becoming empowered to make a difference in their own education. Here at the Washoe County School District, we aspire to be one of the best districts in the nation, and we know we can't do that without important input from students just like you. We want you to give us honest feedback about how your education is working for you. We want to know about the climate at your school and how you feel about what you are learning. We take your feedback to make our curriculum and school campuses better for all students. What you are doing today matters. As a former teacher, I know how important it is for students and teachers to collaborate and create the best classroom environment. This fosters learning and helps all students become successful individuals. For us, it's not just about creating graduates, but we are all working together as a school community to create a better tomorrow with happy and engaged citizens. Thank you for being a part of this important effort. Have a great day. And most importantly, remember, strength in voices. Your voice should be heard.
Great. All right. And now, we'd like to take a moment to bring up Melissa Dedman, the Dean of Assessment here at TMCC, to welcome you to this beautiful campus.
Thank you. Good morning. Well, I have to say, Katie, you kind of blew my plan out of the water a little bit because I thought I would have to come and reassure the students that although 8 a.m. is a real time of day, that we would get through this together. But the music was playing, you guys are going, you're already dialoguing. It sounds like it's going to be a very exciting day. So I will keep my comments brief. I just wanted to welcome you on behalf of President Karen Hilgersom, who is at our Board of Regents meeting in Las Vegas, and wish she could be here but could not. I want to welcome you to Truckee Meadows Community College. I wish you a day of very productive dialogue and enthusiasm as you engage in that dialogue and work to improve your schools. And for those of you students who might be new to a college campus, I invite you to take a look around our college as you're in between sessions, and maybe even consider TMCC after you graduate high school. If anybody is interested, I don't know if or what time your session's in today, but I am former faculty here before transitioning to administration. I came from biology department, and I would be happy to give you a little personal tour of some of the laboratories here on campus. And again, I welcome you and wish you a great day here at your conference.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And next, I would like to introduce Katie Deutsch, the president of the Washoe County School District Student Advisory Board, and she's going to talk a little bit about the SAB and the importance of student voice.
Hello, Washoe County School District students, staff, and administrators. My name is Katie Deutsch, and I am the chair of the Student Advisory Board. I am also a senior at TMCC High School. The Student Advisory Board is made up entirely of two high school students from every high school. Would all Student Advisory Board members please stand up? Thank you all for everything that you do. The purpose of the Student Advisory Board is to discuss issues and information regarding the school districts. This type of feedback that we give at our meetings is part of what we call student voice. Student voice is a very important aspect to the Washoe County School District. One way that they implement it is by having the Student Advisory Board, and then also by allowing the chair of the Student Advisory Board, in this case, that's me this year, and what I do is I sit on the Board of Trustees, and I update them with everything that we talk about in our Student Advisory Board meetings. My purpose on the Board of Trustees is to give a student perspective and to try to represent all of you in different agenda items on the Board of Trustees. Today is going to be all about student voice. The school district has many ways of implementing student voice. One of those ways is by holding this conference. And then they also visit schools and interview students and everything I mentioned earlier about the Student Advisory Board. The Board of Trustees, along with Superintendent Davis, knows that the words that come out of students' mouths are the most important because we are the ones who are receiving the education. As students are the ones who are going to have to take everything that we learn and use it for our future and to help us grow. With generations constantly changing, we're the only ones who are really going to know the best learning methods for us. Therefore, student voice is very valuable and important to our districts. And the district will learn from everything that you have to say today. The theme for this year's Strengthen Voices Conference is connections. So I want you guys to be able to connect with each other and to also connect with every topic that you learned about today and see how that can also connect to other people at your school and other students in this district. And make sure that this conference is something that you talk about at your school. You'll find that when you learn all this information that you can relate it to other people and that you can help them and help to learn and help to improve your school environment as well as make it a more academically engaging school for every single student that attends there. Make sure that you participate and have strong discussions in each of your sessions and have a great time learning about the great ways in which we can improve and honor the Washoe County School District. Thank you. Now we're going to do a great little get-to-know-you activity that will help all of you in this room connect together. Can I please get Jonah, Joko, and Anthony to the stage? All right, so on each of your tables, you'll see that you have a little deck of cards. So I want one student from each of your tables to pass out the cards to everybody at your table. And then you will read your question, and when I tell you to, you'll find different people, and you will read the question, answer it, and then the other person will read their question and answer it back for you. And then you will raise your hand and find another partner. After that, okay, and remember to introduce yourself by stating your name, your school, and your grade. And if you're a staff member, then introduce yourself by saying your name, your school, and something that you absolutely love about working at your school. And then once the music starts, you'll have 10 to 15 minutes to see how many people you can connect with. Jonah and I will demonstrate.
Okay, ready? So I'll say something. Oh, hey, how are you? My name is Jonah. what kind of foods gross you out?
Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is disgusting.
All right. And that is how it's done.
And then I would ask him a question.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Okay, so you'll have the rest of this time to meet with people. So you will meet one person from your school, another person from a different school. If you are a high schooler, meet somebody from, or meet a middle schooler. And then if you are a middle schooler, meet a high schooler. And then students find staff from a different school. So meet with these 4 people and see how many people you can connect with in the next 10 to 15 minutes. All right. So thank you all for participating in that fun activity and to help set up our theme for the day. Making connections is a very great skill that I believe that all of you will achieve at greatly. Now I will welcome Jonah and Trustee Simon Holland back up to the stage.
Great. Let's give a really big round of applause for Katie and the QQTT demonstration team. Did everybody love that? Did you like it? Was that fun? Did you meet some new people? Excellent. Well, I got to share one of my embarrassing moments with one of the employees of the district, so he's sworn to secrecy. Okay. You know, the whole process of QQTT really captures the spirit of student voice and the potential that each one of you has to contribute to the continued growth and success of our students towards ensuring that all students graduate college and career ready. And our goal for today is really to bring all of you together, students and adults in our schools, to give voice to things that need to improve and to collaborate to make them better and to celebrate the things that are already going so well. Together, finding a way to ensure that all students graduate, and that's where you all come in. And over the course of this very exciting day, we hope you learn something, you teach something to someone else, you share something, you listen to something new, and use your voice to be heard about something. Jonah.
Amazing. Okay, so now it is time to move to the 3 breakout sessions that you've chosen. So please refer to your agenda to find the room of the first session that you'd like to attend. And there are maps to these rooms in your folder. And there are a couple of volunteers around. If you could raise your hands. Volunteers. Awesome. They have smiley faces on their name tags, so you'll be able to tell who is who, and they can help you on your way. So if you have any questions or need anything, ask them. And remember, enjoy yourself, listen, and use that voice.
Okay, I guess we're ready to get started. Is everybody comfortable? Is everybody having a good day? Good. Okay, I've been asking this of several people today, but everybody says no, so don't feel bad if you have to say no. Who here has heard the word Ubuntu? Good. So it's this kind of philosophy or spirit of I am because you are. And it gives us this kind of sense of recognizing our shared humanity. And I can't think of a more apt notion for student voice, this idea of I am because you are. I think all the adults in the room would agree that we're here to support every one of you kids and every other kid out there, student out there, to graduation. So we're here because you are on your way to graduation. And students, you're all part of this together, learning in order to build this kind of next version of society. And all of that demands your voice, makes necessary your voice. So that's what today is about, of course. So we're going to take this next half hour and highlight some different students around the district and their voice, and kind of hoping that it inspires you to share your voice here, right now, this afternoon, next week in your buildings, and obviously forever as you do build our next version of society. So our first highlight is Madison Quigley, and you'll agree with me that she's amazing. She was having the background of this video that you're about to see. having kind of a rough day a while back and just kind of going in a down mood. And the buildings and grounds person at her school kind of reached out to her with positivity and showed her that she mattered and really changed her trajectory that day and kind of along her pathway. So she wanted to do something about it, and she's reached out and become a leader and an activist. She has this beautiful quote, and you'll see it again in the video, but it goes, "In order to change the world, you must start from within and reach outward and work outward." And this video shows how Maddie is changing the world from within.
What does defying gravity shoot for the stars mean? In order to change the world, you must start within and work outwards. It's not about conquering the world by yourself. It's about the actions that will add up to a movement in itself. Defying social norms. Helping others around you and never giving up when you fall. Giving someone your time and energy, putting out positive ways to unify our world, naturally doing the little things that amount to something bigger, and defining what the term right means to you. This here is the first step in the process. What's next? I was sitting alone on a bench at school because I just wanted to be alone with my thoughts. I was tired of being consumed by conversations that I felt were meaningless. I wanted to talk about passions, dreams, changing the world, but all I could hear was talk of drama, clothes, sports, and complaints with no intent to fix anything. I thought to myself, how can I be surrounded by students, teachers, and administrators yet feel so alone? How can I devote so much time and energy to people around me, but feel as if no one truly knows me? Do my teachers have a lot going on at home and still get up in front of us to teach? Is that boy late to class every day because he struggles with anxiety and begs his mom every day to stay home? Mid-thought, the tiniest gesture occurred. Little did I know it would change my world forever. The school janitor, Greg, stopped for 1 second, looked at me, smiled, and waved. From there on out, I took it upon myself to help clean up after lunch and converse with Greg. He was open about his life, and I was open about mine. It really made me dislike the fact that our lives could not just be our lives. We have a personal life, a school life, and a home life, which in my eyes are all one, but we keep them all separated and hidden as if one doesn't dictate the other. I wanted to change that. So I thought of a way my school community and the world could be unified in a way that made everyone know it was okay to be who you are, be aware of others, simply care, and master your own story. This is where the concept of We All Matter came about. We so often find ourselves acknowledging the differences of everyone. In school, it is what clique you belong to. In the news, it is your political association or even your race. In the world beyond school, it is your wealth class. But I thought, what if we stopped for 1 second and stopped asking ourselves about what is so different and focus on the things that are the same? Let's start to unify our world with similarities. Let me start here. The broadest similarity that we all have in common is that we are all human. And even deeper than that, we all matter just as much as the other. Humans all have stories to tell. For some, their purpose, much like Greg the custodian, is to do the dirty work with a smile on their face and acknowledge the existence of those who need it. Others pass through unaware of what their story entails. My friend and I then ran with this idea of We All Matter and turned our Diversity Week into a We All Matter Week. It is important to embrace the differences we all have, but it is just as important to see that everyone you meet can relate to you, some way, somehow. We invited students from every high school in the district to a seminar we put together, made and sold We All Matter t-shirts, and had a goal to make social media a better place, all while helping those around us master their story and be aware of others. We had seen so many motivational speakers master their story, share it, provide some valuable lessons they learned, and inspire students. But then their message would die out on campus a few weeks later. We did not want that to happen to us. What we wanted was for everyone to take responsibility for their own lives. It was not about following a movement, it was about creating your own. What do you care about so deeply you will lose sleep to think of ways to fight for it? We wanted everyone to master their story and know that they matter. And in the act of this, they can look around knowing everyone else also has a story to tell, and they matter too. Then when you look around you and say, you matter, you matter, you matter, it is easy to see that we all matter. The entire week was a huge success. People were wearing the unifying t-shirts, students were online spreading positivity, we even saw students reach out to those who had never been there before. The campus of my school felt incredible. There were many groups who would spread random acts of kindness, those who wanted to start clubs for the things they loved the most, and we saw the kids who hide in the shadows find their light. But like any movement, I saw the positivity die back down into the routine of school just like before. I was confused. How could all of these students feel so inspired and then just let it slip away? I realized that we needed to stress that we all matter is a mindset. It is not a movement. But what you do with this mindset is strictly up to you. I did not want to stop putting my energy into something I felt mattered so much, so I reached out to schools and got as involved as I could to continue to spread this mindset. When I go and speak at schools or in front of an audience, I ask questions that make everyone think. Take a look around you. How many people are familiar? How many people are complete strangers? Do you really know these people or just their names? Have you tried to know their story or master and share your own? We all have one to tell, and not one story is more or less important than the other. Then I have everyone lift up a finger and wiggle it. I tell them that by doing this, they just affected the people in China. There's usually some laughter or silence of confusion, but I explain that this is the butterfly effect. Greg the custodian was a small gesture that led me to this moment right now. Everything you do has purpose, from the energy you release to the words you say. Everything you do will affect the future version of you and everyone around you. Meaning doesn't exist in the future along with us. Nothing will mean anything quite like it does right now. All we have is the moment, and time is change. So I challenge all of you to live life through a we all matter mindset, and start being conscious of all of your actions and words. Know that there is always someone who cares. The goal is not to create a perfect world, but it is to drive you in the direction of overcoming any obstacle that gets in your way of living in your own individual ideal world. Once you hold a truth that is so strong and pure, the movement of positive change will occur. Every day is what you make it. We are all in this together. We can create a society that no longer separates our personal, school, and home life. We can be open enough to know that it is okay to share how you feel, to know you have a purpose here in the world, even if you aren't sure what it is yet. And it is okay to ask someone for help. I am Maddie Quigley, and I matter, and so do all of you.
Thank you, Maddie. And I just found out about 10 minutes ago that Maddie's going to do a year in Sweden for exchange program. So, välkommen och bra lycka till. Our next video features a couple students from Hug High School and from AACT. And what it is, they're both activists, and it's about kindness for them. And some things have inspired them along the way, and they're adamant about being kind and reaching out with kindness. So Victor Arriaga from Hug High School, and he can't join us today because he's the leader of his battalion at Hug High School in ROTC, and today's a big national competition today. So he's in our thoughts. And Anthony Skelton is here from AACT. There he is. And you'll get to meet him, both of them, on video in a bit. This video is a really cool one to me because we asked them the same exact questions about kindness, and they kind of went off in their own independent and amazing directions. And it's a good reminder that there's a spark in each one of you and each one of us, and all of those sparks together can light the sun. So I encourage you to watch this next wonderful video with Anthony and Victor.
Kindness is a huge part of everyday life, and it's something that everybody should know how to do, like simple respect as well.
I was raised with the idea that you have to treat everybody with equal respect. It came as a bit of a shock when I came to school or came to high school, and the more I progressed through my education, it wasn't that common anymore. I don't think you can ever be too nice, you know? And I think it's something that we really need to look into in school and take into consideration definitely because it just makes a lot of things easier, interactions with each other, excelling in education.
Through elementary school, through middle school, there's those kids that are kind of left off to the side, like they don't fit in with us, you can't sit here kind of thing. And I never really liked that. I always like having people in my group, like I always welcomed people because I hate seeing people by themselves. When everybody's being kind to one another, it kind of shows, hey, I do matter, like I'm here, these people are here for me, and I can go to them for anything. Respect goes a very, very long way. It all fits together. If you're kind to people, you'll gain respect from other people. If you respect people, one day maybe that person will help you become a leader, and even giving that respect will teach yourself to be a leader for the future.
And I think it's looked as cheesy in our society, being a little too cheesy sometimes or showing a little too much emotion. But I would try to express to them that it's okay, it's okay to once in a while show emotion, show a little sense of care for each other.
If you're having a problem, feel free to come to me and I'll help you with anything, which anybody should be willing to do, which all follows right back to kindness.
What I try to do as a student with this background, I try to, not enforce it, but spread it, and any opportunity that I have to, share with somebody, hey, look, man, it's not nice to say this or that, and we watch TV shows where, the cue to laugh is an insult, and I mean, in the process of things, it may not seem like a big deal, it's kind of become a part of a society. So I think it becomes a little bit of a habit. And I think the one thing that I try to do the most is be understanding, So I don't know that person, I don't know their life story, but regardless of that, I always try to, show them that respect is the way to go. Efficiently, kindly, and with a lot of life. And I say that in the sense that anything you do, you want to put your 110% effort into it.
In a perfect world, there would be absolutely no drama. Everybody would talk to everybody. There wouldn't be any glares or anything in the hallways. And I want to see a world without that and everybody getting along.
I think what brought me or gave me the passion to be a leader was seeing the impact that I had on students. Every position I had in ROTC was a leadership position, so I felt that was the best opportunity to have a one-on-one interaction with students. Since they would be looking at me, they were now in my shoes as freshmen, I felt that I had the ability and opportunity to really encourage them or motivate them in some way, give them a greater sense of responsibility or anything of that sort.
Feel free to experiment. Don't just be like, oh, all my friends are signing up for the medical academy, I should sign up for the medical academy. If you're interested in going and being a oceanographer, go study animal science, go study something that is going to help you towards that goal. Don't just follow what everybody else is doing. And listen to your own personal goals. Set these goals for yourself.
If you show passion in what you do and you show that you're very caring of what you're doing, regardless if it's a kindness speech or spreading awareness for some cause, if you show a general sense of care and love for what you're doing, I think it's universal because everyone has a topic that they care about or a topic that they're really passionate about. So if they see that same passion in you for another subject, I think they'll be more understanding and they'll be able to see that subject from your perspective.
Seeing all these kids setting up all these different things and be like, hey, what class do I need to take to do that? And they're like, oh, you'd be in leadership. So definitely being a part of the student advisory board is a huge part of it. I talk to a lot of people about about the advisory board, hey, do you have any suggestions about this? Or I'll tell them hey, they're planning on building a new school like this. They're planning to do this with this school. So I definitely make sure that it gets out there so everybody knows. So my hair is green because I volunteer for the St. Baldrick's Foundation. They raise money for childhood cancer research, and I've been doing it for about 5 years, since 5th grade. I mainly do it because of my sister. My sister was 3 years old when she was diagnosed with leukemia, and she passed away when she was 5 years old. Since elementary school, I have had my own motto, and it's no matter how long the road is, whether walking, running, flying, or driving, the journey will always end, no matter what.
So whenever I'm a little stressed out, a lot of things get in my mind. I go to the gym. Other than that, I listen to motivational speeches. I wake up and I go on YouTube and I search up motivational speeches for hard work or tough times. And I kind of listen to that, and I feel like being told a story of troubles from another person's perspective helps me a lot, because it helps me visualize that I'm not the only one that's dealing with troubles, and I'm not the only one that has some stressful days. So in terms of the students, I think I try to encourage as much positivity as possible. I try to stay as motivated, as positive as I can, whatever it is. Sometimes times do get tough, and it may be difficult to go forward with a positive mentality, but regardless of the circumstances, I try to take the best out of every situation.
We're so happy that you're here today.
Thank you.
I'm so impressed by you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, city members, city council members. So I'm a senior at Proctor Hug High School, and today I'll be sharing with you all my kindness speech.
Getting involved to where you're around peers that generally have a greater sense of being in life. So they want to accomplish many things, or they want to aspire to do really awesome things. And I think being around some really positive people will really help out with that. But also, just speaking out, sending in editorials to the newspaper, that's a great way to start. Anywhere you can start small, that's fine.
We have to know communication, and that's a big part of getting the students' voices to be heard. You have to actually communicate to people to let them know that this is what's happening.
Diversity. I think the fact that we're all different and there's something special about every person is magnificent. I mean, the fact that I may have a passion and another peer of mine may have a passion, I think it's really awesome. And the fact that we're able, or we have the ability to express that in a school setting is really cool. So I think that it's really important to express ourselves and just share, ideas, because it really impacts the community by adding diversity, adding a mixing pot of ideas that, you might enlight a passion in somebody else. By sharing your ideas, by sharing your passion, you might just create another passion for another student.
Wasn't that great? So that was Victor, and that was Anthony, and that was Maddie, and that's all of you. So we want to have a whole bunch of these videos. We want to have you in person. We want to have you on the website or at a conference like this. You all have that spark in you. You all have a voice. You all have so much to say. So our showing this to you is our way of recruiting you for next year, for next month, for next week. So if you want to be on a video, if you want to post it to the website, if you want to come and present, let us know. We want to hear your voice, and I promise you, everyone else in the district wants to hear it as well. So that was the video portion. We have one more fun, if I get Jeremy to come up here. And this one is too cool to be done on video. So we had We All Matter with Maddie, and we had kind of an operative word of kindness with the last video you just saw. And the next word is kind of joy. You find something that you click with. It doesn't have to be, student voice doesn't have to be an expression, or your voice or an articulated speech. It can be somehow you express yourself. And Jeremy Bennick, I had the great fortune of meeting him finally a couple weeks ago, and he's amazing in a million ways, but one of his joy clicking points is Rubik's Cube. And I will let him talk about it, because it's just so cool to watch him as he speaks about what his passion is, and then he's going to demonstrate it for you. But this is another kind of way to express yourself. We want your voice. We want your expression.
All right, so I'm guessing most of you know what these things are, the Rubik's Cube. How many of you think these are impossible to solve? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, even Ben over here. So I'm going to have these two wonderful people behind me scramble them. And in the meantime, I'm going to explain how many combinations a Rubik's Cube has and why it's so difficult. Now, a typical 3x3 Rubik's Cube has roughly 43 quintillion configurations. Now, that seems like a big number, but how do you even imagine that? So there's a YouTuber made a video, RedKB, saying like, he explained what that number means by representing it with a piece of paper. Let's say I wrote down every configuration of a Rubik's Cube on a piece of paper. So like this would be 1, this would be 2, on a separate piece of paper. I stacked them all the way up. Pretty soon, this ceiling wouldn't be enough. Pretty soon, you'd be out in outer space. Before you know it, you'd hit Pluto. You'd come back roughly about 700 times. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons they're really difficult.
I wasn't looking at it, so
You
I
all
have
right?
no idea.
All right. And a fun pattern, the checkerboard. Now, there are competitions on these things, and the rules in the competition are you're allowed 15 seconds to take a look at it before you start your solve. This way I get to plan out everything I want to do. All right. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh, PLL skip. Oh, is that one ready? Yeah. Oh, another fun pattern. The flower pattern. All right, now for this one, another 15 seconds. You will? All right. Tell me when to go. What was that? 14.4. That's a little less than my average. Average about 16 seconds. My record average is 13 seconds. My personal record for a single solve is 9.4 seconds. And the world record for these things, it keeps going lower. It used to be, it's dropped from like 5.55 to 5.25. And then they finally broke 5 with 4.90. And then it was broken by Mads Falk with a time of 4.74. And then Felix Zemdig broke it with a time of 4.73. And also right in front of the previous world record holder, too. So that's a really good video. I'd highly recommend watching it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. A quick story, I had a tough time convincing Jeremy to come up and do this because he has perfect attendance at school. So he's like, well, is it going to count as an absence? And I had to convince him that it wasn't. So he's not cutting class to practice Rubik's cubing. Okay, so the next part, we love having you here. It's so vital that you take it back to your building. So this next portion, we're going to have your president of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Angie Taylor, come up here and fire you up and get you to take this back to your school.
I don't need this. I was going to do the Rubik's Cube, but he beat me to it, so I don't want to do the same thing. All right, good afternoon. Oh, come on, you guys have been here all day sharing student voice, learning about student voice, hearing I heard crying a little bit. I was at a couple other schools this morning, so I just got here about 30 minutes ago. So you gotta have more energy than that. One more time, good afternoon. Yeah, give yourselves a hand for being here. Student voice matters. It absolutely rocks in this school district. I am excited. I am proud myself, and my trustees, my colleagues that are here, that we have a district that really values student voice. This was not just a day to get out of school. Right? Yeah, it was that, though. It was that, so that was okay. It was that. It was that. But it's more than that. We want you not just to come here and share your stories, inspire each other, learn something about other people's experiences, take it back, recognize that you aren't in this thing by yourself, but we want you to also take back the fact that your student voice makes a difference in this district. Because, see, it's one thing to come here and spend a great day, have some lunch, learn about the Rubik's Cube and all that stuff. It's one thing to do that. But there's something else, what happens when you take it back to your own schools, your own classrooms, to your own peers and do something with it. So I want to challenge you guys a little bit. Everybody say challenge. No, say it like you mean it. Say challenge. I want to challenge you a little bit to do something with it. Do something with it. Touch the person next to you and say, do something. Tell them, do something, do something. Do something, do something with it. Because this is one thing that we know. One thing that we know is this. A lot of times you'll go back to school, you'll be around other students that they didn't spend the day in student voice. They didn't spend the day sharing with each other, talking, connecting with other students from all across the district. They think it really doesn't matter, that this was just another day. But that is not to say no. Come on, say it. Say no. So when you go back to school, you're going to have two options when you go back to school. One option you will have is that you can go back to school and just kind of let this whole day fade away, like it just didn't mean anything and you really just did it to get out of school for the day. Or you can go back to school and say, this thing made a difference. Other students need to get some of this, and it's my job to make sure that they get it. In other words, I want to tell you this. There's a difference between being a thermostat and a thermometer. Do you guys know the difference between the thermostat and the thermometer? Well, I'm glad you said no, because I'm going to share it with you. Good thing I showed up. That's all I'm saying. Here's the difference. When you go back and you are a thermometer, a thermometer tells us what? It tells us the temperature, right? It tells us what else is going on in the environment around us. It tells us how hot it is, how cold it is. All it does is if we're thermometers, we'll go back and reflect what's there. But if you are a thermostat, what does a thermostat do? It changes the temperature. It changes the atmosphere. It changes the environment. Your job is to go back and not be a thermostat and just be what everybody else is. Your job is to go back and to set the tone, to set the atmosphere, to set the environment. And if you don't like what's already there, guess what you can do? You can change it. Your job is to be the thermostat. Are you ready to be a thermostat? I don't believe you. Are you ready to be a thermostat? All right, so if you are, I want you to touch two people and say, be a thermostat. Tell them, be a thermostat. Two people. You didn't touch anybody. Be a thermostat. That's your job. So I have a really easy way for you to learn how to do that. This way is called 3, 2, 1. How much easier can you be than 3, 2, 1? So this is what we want to have you do. First of all, we're going to give you a little time to talk right now, just at your tables, about 3 things you learned today. So go ahead, take some time right now, just at your tables. Everybody, just go around real quick. 3 things you learned today. We're going to start with the 3, then we're going to do the 2, then we're going to do the 1. All right, now each of your schools are getting a poster that looks just like this. A poster and a pen. That's where you want to write your stuff. Because each school is going to get a little poster. It looks just like this. Go ahead, unravel those posters if they're twisted up. All right, everybody. That was where we'll start with your tools to take back. That was 3. That was 3. Now, the second thing we want to give you some tools to take back. That was 3. Since that one was 3, this one is what? This one is 2. Now you're going to look for 2 ways student voice can impact your school next year. That's the next item on here. Take some notes on your poster right here. 2 ways student voice can impact your school next year. Go ahead, start sharing your thoughts, your ideas. Take some notes on that. 2 ways student voice can impact your school next year. All right, everybody, that was 3. First, you wrote down 3 things you learned today, and then we had you go to 2 ways student voice can impact your school next year. We did 3, we did 2, and now we're going to do what? We're going to do 1. This is 1 recommendation you will bring back to your school. This one is huge. It's huge. 1 recommendation that you will bring back to your school. Take some notes on that one. Just take a few minutes. This one is huge. We expect some big ideas to come out of the day you spent here at Strength in Voices. 1 recommendation that you will take back to your school. All right, everyone, go ahead, bring those conversations to a close. Take one good look at that poster. I think it's an awesome idea to put that on the poster because now your job is not just to have the poster and roll it back up. Find a place at your school, whether you're at a middle school, whether you're at a high school, find a place at your school to put that poster up, to remind you, because otherwise we get busy. We forget. Schoolwork is due, their projects, their tests, there are all kinds of things. The end of the year will be coming and you'll forget. Bring this stuff up at your meetings, when you have your leadership meetings, when you have your student council meetings. Bring these things up to remind yourselves, how can we make a difference with student voice at our school? You have spent a day here doing something phenomenal that will impact the rest of the 64,000 students in this district. Give yourselves a hand for spending the day, for doing the work, for attending the sessions, for sharing your student voice. But now, like all good things, this must come to an end. Everybody say, oh. So there's some logistics. I get to do the fun stuff, and then the vice president of the board comes back up to do the business. There's some logistics that she and Jonah will take you through. Jonah just did a TV interview, so he's famous now. So have your people talk to his people. Bringing it back up here just in time. He's amazing. Give it back over. We'll give it back over to Jonah, to Katie. Good job. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your student voice.
All right. Thank you, President Taylor. And wow. You know, it's the church of Dr. Angie right there. She is absolutely gets us going. Thank you, Angie. Okay, so we've had a great day, and everybody is going to take these back to their schools. And I want everybody to raise your right hand and say, I promise to make a difference in my school. All right. So you can't break that promise now. So before you head back to your buses, we want everybody to fill out an evaluation form. There's one in your folder, or you can go online and use the QR code on the survey, because your voice really does matter to us. I know the Student Advisory Board and all the folks who worked so hard to put this together want to know how they can do better next time. We want to thank everybody that contributed to this event, the Office of Accountability, the Student Advisory Board, our facilitators, all of our great session leaders. Thank you, session leaders, for the great time. Do you want to say a couple words, and then I'll wrap up?
Sure, absolutely. Okay. All right, well, hello, everybody. Thank you for staying for the full day, and I'm sure you guys all had a wonderful experience, or at least I hope you did. And I think that it has definitely been a privilege to be a student and to be up here and just kind of express how I feel about how important it is for all of us to go back to our schools and emphasize that what we do and our voice makes a change. And thank you to the Board of Trustees. You guys are wonderful. And I rest assured that, you always listen and that our feedback is always there for, criticism and ultimately to make a change. So thank you very much. It means a lot from a student to you. And I'm sure all of the students will agree that this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us. So thank you.
Thank you, Jonah. Absolutely. And, we all sat here saying, as a conclusion of this day, we know our future is in your good hands. So thank you so much, student scholars. I want to leave you with one quote that has been attributed to Helen Keller and to many other people. And she said, I am only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And I will not fail to do the something that I can do. So go get them. Happy weekend. Thank you all so much.